woke and broke. Yeah, you go woke, you are gonna go broke. So Gillette sees sales slump after its sexist lecturing advertisement talking about toxic masculinity. Imagine that. Imagine that. Men were not too happy with Gillette's pandering to feminists. And by the way, the person that produced and directed this commercial was a feminist. Yeah, I think one of her prior works was talking about how fruits look like vaginas and showcasing a whole bunch of fruits cut and paired in different ways to look like, female body parts, female poon, essentially. Yeah, because that's who you want directing and producing commercials for male products. Yeah, feminist, right? It's amazing how women are allowed to comment on and trash men ad infinitum, but whenever a man says something about a woman, you can't talk about a woman, you don't have a vagina. You're not allowed to have an opinion. It's very interesting how that only goes one way. So anyway, Procter & Gamble and Gillette decided to run razor ads trashing men and toxic masculinity in their new ad campaign. The company decided the best way to promote their product, well, the best way was to attack their customer base. That's brilliant. That's so brilliant. The new ad also highlights sexism and bullying by white males in the United States. Yeah. By the way, of the 40, this commercial, as short as it was, but it was longer than most commercials, right? 40 of the 43 abusive males, that's right, there were a lot more males in this than you realized. And all being trashed in regards to being white. So 43 of the abusive males in the ad, 42 of them were white. Yeah. 7 of the hero men out of 8 hero men were, get this, black. Woo! The ad is not doing so well, with many users promising to avoid the product. The ad had 642,000 downvotes after its first 2 days on YouTube. And of course, you had the usual virtue signaling, male feminist, soy boy, weakling, pinheads, and the actual feminist females trying to upvote it as much as possible. But, the truth bared its ugly teeth. These people are just a very small minority of the American population, and the way they hoot and holler and scream is just to convince most people that they're actually a larger group than they actually are, because they couldn't get anywhere near the number of upvotes. They couldn't get anywhere near the number of downvotes, okay? They tried and tried and tried, but we're just too small a minority. I thought there'd be more of us. Yeah. Yeah, you own the media. Yes, yeah, you own the media, but that's it. And the universities. But when it comes right down to it, they're a very small but vocal minority. Their big mouths make you think there's more of them than there actually are. Maybe that's why Gillette made such a stupid decision and actually decided to run with this ad, because of all these loudmouth leftists who had probably infiltrated their board of directors. I don't know, maybe they needed to diversity hire some broads. I don't know. Where are their shareholders? Weren't their shareholders scratching their head and saying, wait a second, isn't our product for men? Should we be bashing men? Didn't they realize they're bashing men? Don't the shareholders of these companies have any say? I mean, how many of these women are actually shareholders? How many women hold shares in companies? Women don't invest their money. They spend it on shoes and handbags. But it gets worse. When you open the U.S. Gillette website, you get a pop-up ad lecturing men on abusive male culture. Oh, my God. The real problem here is that some men are continuing to buy these products. That's the problem. They are continuing to buy things from Gillette, give money to Gillette. No consequences. Not enough consequences, but they're seeing consequences now. Oh, my God. So, it goes on to say, but when you open the Gillette Abs website for any other market, including Saudi Arabia, where men are taught to discipline their women, guess what you don't see? You don't see any anti-male advertisements. I find this very odd. So I would think that Saudi Arabia, which is an actual patriarchy, would be the place they would want to target the most with their toxic masculinity, change your ways, become more feminized message. But instead, they avoid sending that message there. Meanwhile, America, which already has a lot of feminized soy boys, We got rid of the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts have been destroyed, which was the whole point. I think that the Boy Scouts itself was infiltrated by a bunch of male feminists and, whatever on their board of directors, women, whatever they were feminists too. I think these people who were working on the inside, who were working for the Boy Scouts and saying that they were doing what was in the best interest of the Boy Scouts, I think those people actually wanted to destroy the Boy Scouts. I think that was their main goal. And they succeeded. I mean, America is about as soy as you could get. Why would you target a country that has very little sexism, very little racism, in fact, the least in the world? That's something for you to ponder. And yet you would ignore those countries that have the most actual patriarchy, the most sexism, and the most actual oppression towards women. Oh no, we're not going to target them. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I'll tell you who's running things, and it ain't men. It ain't a patriarchy. Yeah. You won't see any anti-male ads. It's only U.S. men that have a problem with oppressing women. But they're losing money. This is great. So sales have dropped for their grooming products. It's good. That's good. Maybe they'll learn a lesson, but I don't think so. The problem with leftists, they're not too good at critical thinking or, looking down the road at possible consequences to their actions or understanding economics or markets, which is why they embrace socialism so much. So I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Yeah. Can you imagine shooting yourself in the foot like that? It's like, I'm selling bras to women. I'm going to ridicule women and tell them they're big fat land whales and then still expect them to buy my product. That's great. Or something more apropos would be diet products. Can you imagine Jenny Craig insulting their customers? Hey, ladies, if you're a big fat land whale, that's a bad thing. Come on down and buy our products, fatty. Yeah, sure. Why wouldn't they, right? You only insulted them. Sure, it's actually an objective reality bad to be a big fat slob, right? You're taking a lot of money out of other people's pockets in the form of public health care dollars, right? But you don't care. Just like that story I talked about last night about the big fat broad that thought that dieting and people pushing the idea of dieting was some kind of violence. And what was she advocating for? People subsidizing her food. I shouldn't have to lose weight. You should have to pay for my food. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, why would you hire a woman? I don't understand this. If that would be like hiring some dude, right? So in fact, somebody who has the exact opposite ideological worldview of a company that has essentially had a very different message from the one that was put forth in this commercial. That would be like hiring like the Marlboro Man, chomping on some chaw to essentially sell feminine hygiene products. I'm a real man, bitches. Get in the fucking kitchen. Make me a fucking sandwich. Since you're not enough like a traditional woman anymore to cook anything. Here, buy our tampon, bitches. That's exactly what Gillette did. Would you ever see that? Would you ever expect to see that from a feminine hygiene company? No. Who's thinking this is a good idea? Female solipsism, right. It'll be a good idea if I make reality into such that it'll be accepted as a good idea. Yeah, okay. That's crazy.